She was one of those women that if there was a kid that needed a parent, she kind of would take you under her wing, and she was just a sweetheart, and she had a good attitude through it, but it was just too far along for her. My mom was officially diagnosed when I was 14. She was scared to go to the doctor. I don't know, she never told us kids directly. It's just afterwards, things that she had said to some family members that she knew what she had, but she didn't want to acknowledge that she actually had a tumor and that she had breast cancer. So we drove up to McCall and we went to my grandma's house, the house where my mom grew up. And we went through everything of hers. That was at my grandma's house. She collected teacups and saucers from the time she was little until she was in high school. And we just laughed and talked about things. And I look back on that now, and it's almost like she knew what was coming. I went in on July 24th, 2013, and I had my first mammogram, and he said, just go ahead, go home, try to have a normal weekend, and we'll let you know what the results are. So you go home with, the fear of having cancer, and so you don't really have a normal weekend. And as soon as she said the word cancer, it was like I just sank down to the floor and I just started crying, and she kept talking and do you have anybody there with you? And my kids are outside playing, and I'm just like, this cannot be happening. It's just this overwhelming feeling of your life is over. And so I called my dad first because he's my dad and the only parent I have left because of this disease. And he immediately told me, well, you're gonna be fine, quit crying, and where are your kids? And he made me get off the phone, he made me call my husband. Well, he was my fiance at the time. And he immediately rushed home to be with me. I went to go see the surgeon, and I didn't like the percentages he was throwing out there. It was like 47 to 60% that I'd get breast cancer again if I just opted for a lumpectomy. And I said, well, what would my chances be if I just did both? And he said, well, if you did a double mastectomy because you're hormone positive, your cancer's hormone positive, he said we could remove both breasts, do a bilateral mastectomy, and then remove your ovaries as well, and that would give you a 90% chance that you'll never get this again. And then I thought, thinking about my kids, and I want to be there for high school dances and like my daughter, and I want to be there for graduation and when they get married, and all these thoughts run through your head, things that you don't normally think of on a daily basis with your kids. And I'm just sitting there quiet thinking, I shouldn't be thinking about these kind of things. I'm only 29 years old, and then it made me think about my mom, and made me think about, she probably sat and thought the same things. The night before surgery, you're just, am I doing the right thing? I just remember being really scared, but I had this warm feeling that everything would be fine. And I know a lot of that has to do with prayer from everybody around me, and that God stepped in. And I remember I actually slept that night. I just prayed with Tom, and I said, God, just please let me sleep, just let me rest, let my family get down here safe. And I fell asleep, and I slept all night, and I didn't wake up one time. Everything's just different. You're never gonna look the same ever again. And it takes something from you that I can't even explain. But then I also thank God that my kids are healthy, that I have a roof over my head, that my husband has a job, we have insurance. And so I spend my days trying to think of everything that's positive, the silver lining, with everything. And our church family has been amazing. We had so much food at our house that first week for just Tom and I. It was like, where are we gonna put this stuff in our fridge? We have this little tiny refrigerator. And they kept wanting to bring more and more and more, and people stopped by to say hello, and it's not what I thought it would be. You kind of feel like Quasimodo, I guess. You kind of feel like a monster a little bit, but nobody really treated me any different. They didn't really, I wouldn't let everybody kind of walk on eggshells around me. It was just like, I'm still who I am, and cancer is not my identity. You know, it's something that's going to be here for a short period of time in my life. You walk into the hospital and you're really super nervous. Well, is this going to hurt me? Am I going to get really, really sick? And is it going to be the worst of the worst? And we get there, and everybody was so nice and so caring, and they remembered our names, you know, from just meeting us one time, and it wasn't what I thought it would be. And I'm not gonna lie, I had my bad days, you know, where it's like, why did this happen to me? And there was a few days where I couldn't get out of bed, but it was only a couple of days. I decided that I wasn't gonna let cancer have my hair, that I was gonna take it myself. So I cut my hair, which was past my shoulders, and I donated it to Locks of Love. That made me feel a lot better that I can't use my hair anymore, but somebody else can, especially to a little kid. And I hope that my hair goes to some, you know, little girl that's feeling insecure, and that it makes her feel better. I found that the best way to handle it for me is to kind of joke about it, and you know, because there's nothing you can do about it. You have cancer, and you just have to kind of keep trekking on, and have 2 little kids to worry about, and family and friends that care about me, so you can't let it get to you.
Her whole life is to help others.
Keep your faith and believe, and God will get you through this. He is using you for some reason, and I've got the message loud and clear, and we love you.
I initially didn't want to go get checked because I was scared, but they all forced me, and she made the appointment for me, so I went in and got it done.
How it has led you to totally lean on the Lord too, and it's inspiring to us to see that.
I know she's gonna be fine. She's just too tough to give up.
I love you. Thank you for being as good as you are with the kids, and don't give up.
Love my mom dearly, God bless her soul, but I will not be like her. So I pushed myself, and I went in and I found the tumor myself. I always did my own exams, and which is super important. Even if you don't think that, oh, there's no way that could happen to me, it can happen to you. Whether you carry the genes or not, it can happen to you. And taking 10 minutes out of your day, or once a week, or once every couple weeks, or once a month, check yourself, because it will save your life.
Welcome to the Cool Kids Club, Teresa.